a saying that says environment is much more powerful than willpower. Everyone at work, oh, it's month end. Oh, I'm going to pay, oh, my dad's this. This is your environment. You get to your cousins. Oh, my goodness. We need to borrow this to get that. That's your environment, right? It's okay. All of us are doing this. It's safe. This is the framework. As you think, so you feel. As you feel, so you do. As you do, so you have. Your thoughts affect how you feel. The way you feel will affect what you do. And then what you do will affect.
Welcome to another edition of Mindset Profits. I want to make this episode about upgrading your money mindset. And I am here with a neuro-encoding coach and a friend, Putty, who doesn't clean, doesn't cook.
Ntando.
Am I like?
Partially. I do cook.
Am I like?
I do clean sometimes. Sometimes.
You know there's going to be people who know you that watch this.
Sometimes I've cleaned.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Why are you lying on a podcast?
I do clean sometimes. It's just not the best use of my time, okay? I could be doing other things.
She's a CA, but left being a CA to pursue business, entrepreneurship, coaching along the way. And that's where you came across neuro-encoding, which basically is about rewiring your mind. Yes. Explain what it's about so I don't mess it up. Because I know NLP.
Mm-hmm. Rewiring your mind just involves forming new patterns in your nervous system or in your mind. Let's keep it simple. To help you default to your best. So
your default becomes habits that make you successful.
Yes.
And this is for someone whose default is habits that keep them unhappy, unhealthy, unwealthy.
Whatever is unresourceful for you. Whatever is not the best use of your resources.
Like
and
cooking.
Cooking I do. It's the cleaning.
All right, so this is going to be for someone who is stuck, someone who is looking at their bank statement and saying or feeling in their heart, I need to fix this. Someone who's looking at where they are in their life and feeling like I've lost out on a lot of time, might not be having a lot of time to fix my life, but I need to fix my life.
Yes.
Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Always a pleasure too. So, where do we start? I think you've defined neuro-encoding. Why do you think a lot of people get stuck?
Stuck where?
In life, financially especially.
Financially especially. For me, the thought that I carry with what you've just asked is we get stuck because of uncertainty. We get stuck because of fear. But mostly we get stuck because of a fear of no longer belonging, I think. A lot of our decisions, unchecked, subconscious, we do because we want to be accepted. We want to appear a certain way. And that's, I believe that's a big part of it.
So a lot of people are making the wrong decisions because they want to feel they belong. Most
times. It's a survival. Remember, human beings, right? Human beings, think about it. When a baby is born, they must scream and someone else must attend to them. And if they don't, they will die. So us belonging is part of survival. That's the coding, isn't it?
Yeah.
And no matter how, even a child, we've read fairy tales, even babies that were left in the wild, there'll be a pack of wolves or baboons who pick them up and raise them. So a newborn baby without other people could die. That's where it comes from. So your brain is trained for survival. And some of us in the black community, when you're a child, if you're misbehaving, they'll tell you, "Hi, Wena, if you don't stop what you're doing, you're not going to eat tonight, or we're going to kick you outside." Or you understand?
Yeah.
So being different has been associated with no longer belonging. And that's where most of what we do stems from. It's a survivalist instinct.
So which means if the people around you have got bad habits, bad beliefs, for the sake of belonging, you can absorb those.
Most times. Most of our money habits, money thoughts, money patterns are inherited, have been passed down from generation to generation. There's a different concept, we probably won't get into it. It's called epigenetics, where you do things.
Why not get into it? That's such a big word. I want to get into it. Summarize it.
It's certain things. Let me use this example, and some people may have heard, ne? Where you're watching your mother cook meat, chicken.
Yeah.
But then, so this is a story. This young lady, every time her mom has to cook full chicken, she cuts it in half and throws away the other half, right?
Yeah.
And when she gets older, 15, 16, she asks her mom, but why do you do that? And the mom says, oh, because my mom did that. When I grew up, my mom would get a full chicken, cut it in half, throw away the other piece. Okay, so now let's go ask grandmother, which is the mom's mom, right? They go to grandmother, and grandmother says, oh, it's because the pot I had was too small for the full chicken, and there was no fridge to keep the other half. So we threw it away. This is
3 generations.
3 generations. You see, oh, but this is how we do things. And we end up saying things like, oh, this is how people like us do it. Not understanding that it's probably no longer relevant. It's probably no longer necessary. But when I start doing things differently, what happens? You're an outcast.
So when I look at that and I look at what I've seen about neuro-encoding, you guys, or that school of thought, one of the things that you say is being aware is not enough.
Being aware is not enough, right?
So which means if we see that this was how it was done with the chicken, now you're aware why it was being done, but that's not enough to make the change for you.
It's not, because what environment are you in? What environment are you in? So there's a saying that says environment is much more powerful than willpower. Because if you are always trying to be different, you're always going upstream. You're always trying to change. Mentally, in the emotional brain and the logical brain is working overtime. Because you're always trying to be different. Everyone of us who've tried to do something different will tell you this. It's tiring.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. You're exhausted because the emotional part of your brain is working overtime. The logical part of your brain is working overtime. And remember, no one says, keep doing this for the next 6 months and then you'll get to where you go. You don't know. So it's back to what we said. What is that? Uncertainty. Fear of rejection. So these are the 7, I call them the 7 toxic sins. We're afraid that all of us struggle with at some point, depending on the context.
Yeah.
And especially when the stakes are high or we perceive the stakes to be high. It's hesitation, it's procrastination, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, self-sabotage, right? And self-doubt. Self-doubt, sometimes it's called imposter syndrome. All of us have struggled with that. And all of these are based on what? They're based on fear. Something we don't know.
Explain to
fear.
me how those are detrimental to my pocket, to my money.
Jeez, all of them are. Because, as I said, all of them are based on what? On fear. And fear that is perceived. So our brains are meant for survival, isn't it? Something that appears to be a risk, you will run away. Right? You put your hand on a hot stove plate, you take it away. It's survival, right? So this is a perceived fear. And there's a part in our brain that perceives fear, right? And science, neuroscience, tests have been done that show that people who perceive financial risk, right? It's the same chemicals or signals as someone who's perceiving physical risk or physical danger. Yes, physical danger.
So you're saying, I could trying to make a decision, and how I would feel if a lion was coming is the same thing as what I would feel if I think this is a scam or I'm going to lose my money, which is the same reason why some people don't even invest, because in their minds it feels like they will lose their money.
And at the core of that is what? Uncertainty. It's fear. Do you see? And remember, your brain fear is perceived. And your brain doesn't know whether this is real, actual real, or something thought. It's the same. The responses are the same. And we see that when you're watching horror movies, when you're watching, let's say, watching horror movies.
Or movies that make you cry.
Or movies that make you cry. You know, logical brain, you know that's a movie. Someone penned that script. Those people are acting, but you cry. You know that's fake or fiction, but
Fake blood,
when the shark comes
knives.
out, and you're all screaming, even grown men. Because you understand? Because the brain cannot perceive whether this is real or not real. And that's where rewiring comes, where you rewire yourself or your brain to think or default to certain things. And once it's comfortable with that, the brain says, oh, we've done this before. It is safe. You see? And that is why affirmations don't work just as they are. You can say whatever you want, but if at the core of who you are, you don't have the proof. The brain, when it has evidence, it checks it as safe. So then it becomes. So this is the framework. As you think, so you feel. As you feel, so you do. As you do, so you have. Your thoughts affect how you feel. The way you feel will affect what you do. And then what you do will affect the results you get.
Which then go back to validate what you are thinking or reinforce your fears, your insecurities, your doubts. Because out of your fears, you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So this is a scary thing to do. So you've thought that this is a scary thing to do. When I think this is scary, your body reacts, mind-body connection. You start, whatever. You start jittery. Some people freeze. Some people fight. Some people run away. So do you see? That's the neuroscience of it. Because it's a mind-body connection. You cannot separate the two. That is why I'm saying affirmations won't work. Because as you're saying those things, I want to make R1 million a day, let's say. You have not seen that anywhere. You've been raised to believe that is impossible. Unless you do certain things or rewire certain thought patterns, that will be very much unlikely. Your body knows that.
I like that. I think it reminds me of a statement by Tony Robbins. It says proximity is power. And when he was giving that, I think he did give the example of sometimes when you've been around someone who makes R1 million in a day, your brain changes. And there's a quote that says, if your brain has been stretched to a new level, it can't revert to its old dimensions. That says sometimes that's the evidence you needed. The exposure was the evidence you needed to know that it's possible.
Absolutely. That's how the brain works, evidence. So then there's two fundamental things that must happen for your brain to rewire a certain way, right? It's a significant emotional event, right? Or repetition. That's another way you can rewire, repeat certain things. So there's another form of affirmations that I can share with you that are more effective than these ones where you just stand in front of the mirror, and I'll get into that. So what do I mean when I say significant emotional event? For example, you are driving 5 kilometers away or wherever, or far, right? You don't put on your seatbelt, right? And you get into a car crash.
Yeah.
Chances are that event is so significant that you are not going to forget to put on your seatbelt the next time. Already that's a rewire. Do you understand? Because it's emotionally charged. It probably cost you a lot. You understand? There's a high emotion that came with that.
Like me losing my business and all my money.
Chances are you're very careful, right? Going forward. You check everything.
It does change quite a bit.
Yeah. There's one of my coaches said a story explaining the same concept where his dad used to smoke. Be a heavy smoker, a chain smoker. And one time, one of his sisters, they were much younger. You know how sometimes kids will run around not looking where they go? And by mistake, he burnt her skin. He stopped smoking. It wasn't like a big injury or anything. For him, it was important. He didn't need any therapy. He didn't need any counseling. Cool.
Let's apply it to someone who's stuck. Are you saying, technically speaking, that there could be someone who's not changing their life because they are in pain, but they're not feeling the pain enough. It's not significant enough.
It's not significant enough. It's not. Because think about it. You know people who are bad, have carried very bad eating habits for a very long time, right? And they come back, the doctor says, look, you've got 10 days to live, or you've got 6 months to live.
Would change you.
That changes immediately. You've seen that, because that the impact, the emotion that it's chemicals and all sorts of things that get released in your brain that can alter certain emotions. And from those emotions, you then behave a certain way. That is science, you know. That is science. I was sharing in a talk, and there were professionals, doctors in that, because I've always been fascinated by how that actually affects our money stories. It affects our relationships. It affects anything. It affects everything. I just chose to focus on how it affects what we do with our money, right? And I'm going on, and he says, I mean, this is a medical profession.
Yeah.
He says, but those things that you're saying, what does he say? They're not for black people. What do you mean? It's science. It's science. It's how your body reacts. You may not understand it.
Yeah.
And come back and say you're bewitched.
Which part were they against, though?
These type of, you know, the things we do. So marketing. If you watch, I mean, I'm driving here to this studio, and every second lamp post is selling you something.
Yeah.
Showing you something. They are appealing to your emotional part. Because from there, that's where we take actions. If you watch adverts on TV, right? If I'm a travel agent, right, and I'm selling tickets, flight tickets, accommodation booking, and all of that to a certain destination. So I don't, when I'm advertising, I don't put a page that says 5,000 rand for this and this flight, 2,000 rand per room per night for this room. I don't. What do I sell you? You see the beautiful beach. You see the nice sun. You see the absolutely gorgeous. What is that appealing to? To my emotions.
Yeah.
Right. And then whatever it takes to get there, I want to do. And then you call that estate agents. You see, airlines.
Okay.
Airlines are selling bums on seats. It's a taxi in the sky. It actually is. You understand? But what do they sell you when they advertise airlines? Freedom, you know, they're traveling around the world. Do you understand? That feels good to watch, and you want to do that.
Yeah. No, I get you. All right, so let's talk to someone who says, okay, I hear you. You're saying I'm not feeling the pain. How do I make myself feel the pain enough to make the change? To get to that stage where I say enough is enough.
The easiest way you can do it is to change your environment. Because environment is more powerful than your willpower. For example, everyone around you, look, if you declare yourself as broke, or unhappy with my finances, let's say, right? And then let's say you're working or you're in business, right? Everyone at work, oh, it's month end. Oh, I'm going to pay, oh, my dad's this. This is your environment. You get to your cousins. Oh, my goodness. We need to borrow this to get that. That's your environment, right? It's okay. All of us are doing this. It's safe. This is how things are. So I'm not compelled to make a change. I'm like, I'm just one of the many. Versus like what Tony Robbins said, you move into a different circle and you realize, oh my goodness, this level of life is something I've never seen, right? And there's human beings just like me who are doing it. So chances are, if it's important enough, you'll start trying to move in those circles that they move because certain decisions become automatic. It's easy. You don't have to explain yourself. If you're in an environment where everyone is poor, right? For example, poor, broke, borrowing each other money, and you start saying, I cannot borrow you this amount that you're asking for right now because my plan is to save for 5 years. They're going to look, almost.
You're crazy.
They're going to look at you like you're crazy. And the decision you have to make at that point is the pain or the fear of being rejected and excluded and being looked at a different way, or the gain that you stand.
If your life transforms.
If your life transforms. But remember, the rejection is immediate, right? Being talked about.
Can take 2 years.
Yeah, 5 years. It can take 10 years. That's that uncertainty I'm talking about. That fear. What if it doesn't happen? Do you see? And that is always this battle. And I say that's why I suggest the easiest way is leave.
All right. Living, I guess it would work, and anyone listening will see how it works. Let's make it practical for some people that find it hard because maybe they can't, and they're in an environment out of marriage, or it's in an environment where you're still a minor, you're 18 or in your 20s, being taken care of by your you haven't figured things out to the point where you can pick up your bags and go.
Well, leave. Yeah, I wanted to leave. I don't say pack your bags and go. The first place, to live is mentally. You gotta no longer associate yourself with that environment. That must be a them story, not an us story. That's the first thing. You see, if I'm on a diet, two things: health and money. Either I'm trying to make more money or I'm trying to lose weight. Somebody identifies with that. If I'm trying to lose weight, right, I will either tell my family, this little cupboard is where all my health food is, right? Or you clear out the entire everything in the house and you no longer bring in unhealthy foods. That's you taking control of your environment. You see?
Yeah, I like that, because what it says is your environment is not just physical. There's a whole environment in here that needs to be taken care of. The things you listen to, the things you watch, the conversations that you're having.
Yes. And I'm saying, for people who are still, or who don't have, like say a minor, say you're 10 years old and you've read one of your books or you've watched this podcast or whatever, and you realize that mommy and daddy there, that's not how.
Make sure.
Yeah, this advice, I would say, again, locus of control. What can you control? Maybe from my pocket money. Let me get into the habit of saving, of splitting my, the things that everyone says. And I'm a coach who doesn't really do the budget, the spend. We do that, but unless the mind, this environment is clear and aligned to the goal, you're just listening to things, and when it gets tough, it's easy to default to whatever is your norm. Do you see? So someone who's still at home and is watching, this is not working, they can do that with what can you control? What can you control? You see, can you ask your parents to help you, subsidize you, and you buy certain things and start selling? Can you go look for, it's not child labor, but do you understand? So you can already do what is within your control. If you're in a relationship and you realize, I will say it, this man is not really good with money. What can you control in that space? And most times, because remember our brains are looking for evidence, most times when they're close enough to you and see that this works, somehow they start joining you.
Yeah.
Somehow, right?
I like that. You said there's three things that help people change their life. And number one was feeling the pain enough. I think we've covered that one. Yeah. What was number two? So
the second one, so it's significant emotional event.
Significant emotional event. I just focused on the pain.
And on the pain. Which look, it could be, if I can ask you, what's your favorite song?
I do have a number. Think one of them is, I think it's, I'm forgetting the most popular artist in the world.
Is it? I don't know. Beyonce.
I was here.
Her
name disappeared.
But the song you remember, right?
No, the song is I Was Here. But there's a time on American Idols where this guy, a big guy, sang that song. It was so emotional, and his cover was really so. I didn't know the original artist at the time that he sang it, but it was so powerful. This I Was Here concept, I went and wrote the last 3 chapters of my book. That's how I finished the book.
Well done. But you explaining, you'll see your face. You explaining that moment. It's as if you are back there, because that was a significant emotional event for you. You decided, let me finish this book. Do you understand? And that's us all the time, like the examples I did, right? So now repetition. Another way to now subconsciously embed these habits or these changes or these rewirings that you need to is through repetition. I do it today, I do it tomorrow, I do it the next. I mean, getting here, I can't tell you that I shifted my gear and I no, it's so automatic. You even, did I really do that? You understand?
Driving is automatic.
Is automatic. There was a time when I was still trying to get my driver's license where I remember my instructor even came in with a bucket lid to help me because I was not turning. So as he was driving when we were going to the driving, because he would fetch me and we would drive to the parking, whatever, testing drive. And as we were going there, he was saying, as I'm driving, you turn this lid the way I'm. It was so challenging for me. And now you just drive one hand talking, and because it's subconsciously, it's a default. I've driven enough times. My brain says we're safe here.
So what we are saying there is find the good money habits that you can start implementing on a daily basis. Even if they're hard, even if they don't show results immediately.
Yes.
As long as you keep repeating it.
Because that's what it is.
It will rewire how your brain works around that. A lot of people struggle with saving. And when we talk about saving, I had a workshop this one time with the university students. They talked about saving, not with me, but someone else the previous day. And I come into the room and I'm asking them, what did you learn yesterday? And they said, you know what, to be honest, nothing. I said, huh? You guys sat through 2 hours of a financial literacy masterclass and you're saying you learned nothing. And they said, nah, to be honest, it's nothing we've never heard before. And they were talking about saving, we must save and stuff. So I asked, how many of you have got savings, like 10,000 and saved somewhere? That's when it started to get real. You start to see 5 rooms, 5 hands out of 40 in the room. I said, sometimes with this money thing, you keep hearing this thing because you haven't done it. It doesn't have to be a lesson that you've never heard before. If you're not good at it, you haven't implemented the habit, it's not yet in your routine.
Yeah, it's not part of your habit. So as you think, feel, do, have, right? What you consistently do, right? A lot of us, with all due respect, whatever you're looking at in your life that you don't like, right? It's a result of something that you have been consistently agreeing to or actively doing.
Explain that.
Yeah, I'd like to have more money. We're talking about money. I'd like to have more money, right? But when my money comes every month, I do the same things. Comes in, I pay whoever I owe, I go out for lunch with the friends, I buy a new dress, and then go back to work. It's the same thing, right? For me to change that, something in that flow must take a different turn. The question is it important enough for you to cut out certain things? Do you see? Until such time, you're going to get the same results.
I'm enjoying what you've been saying so far. Loving the energy as well.
I'm having fun. Thank you.
If someone was to say to you, I'm starting over, I don't have a lot of money, I have a very low salary, what's your advice to me?
Advice? So you start where you are, you start with what you have. 2 oldest tricks in any book that you can find is, first of all, you pay yourself first. And that does not mean go to that restaurant or buy that expensive dress. That's not paying yourself first, because there's no return on that. Pay yourself in a way that there is a return. And usually it's what? Savings or investing or putting something away for a rainy day, right? That's one. And secondly, it is not spending 100% everything of what you get.
Everything.
Don't chow. That's the basic thing. Learn to 90% or even less of what you earn, because you are saving, or you're automatically preparing for uncertainties that may come in the future. It's the oldest trick in the book, or these are the 2 oldest tricks in the book.
I guess you'd be adding all the other stuff that you were talking to earlier.
Yes.
Like changing the environment.
Change environment, yes.
Mental
but
environment.
remember, when you start doing things like this, already that is different. And you will find, if you ask, you're probably one of the few people doing that in your circles. You get. And also, read, inform yourself. Instead of watching 2 episodes of your favorite whatever, or just try and read. Download a podcast about money while you're traveling to work or cooking or cleaning. put it on and listen.
Cooking and cleaning.
Yes, you
from you.
you could be doing that while you're empowering yourself with knowledge. Get informed. Really get informed. And the more informed that you are, knowledge is potential power. It's only powerful if you implement. Remember.
And you talk to the guys with I blew it. From me, I blew it. For you, it's a depressing story.
You know, I once said to a relative of mine, some people are blowing it every single month. Do you realize that? Do you see that? It's just that with them, it's one big lump sum at a time and they blow it. But some people are blowing it every single month. It comes in and it flows out of you. It comes in. So maybe that's why these poor people who go on those shows depress me so much, because that's a manifestation of a much bigger problem, how they end up. But a lot of people are happily doing that every single month. And 15 years of a working career, 10, 20, 30 years later, you have nothing. And you've been working for so long. Your children haven't seen you, your family hasn't seen you, and there's nothing at the end of that. It's the same concept.
Yeah, and now you're making it painful and real. But thank you for coming. Eh?
Thank you so very much.
Do you have a group of people that you're passionate about that you want to leave drop a message for?
Women, girls.
Let's go.
I love women women in leadership in corporate.
Yeah.
And women who are in business.
Those are your typical clients.
Those are my typical clients. And I coach them using neuroscience techniques to build confidence and to become financially resilient. Because it's about resilience. It's not so much about the techniques and what you have. Because I could have 10 million rands in the bank account today and 6 months later I have nothing. It's about being resilient. And for you to be resilient, you need to learn the tools, you need to learn the strategies. And for you to be able to implement the strategies, your wiring must be aligned.
You must rewire yourself.
You must rewire yourself.
When we get you back, you know you don't like Joburg.
No, I like Joburg. It's just stressful for me.
Be honest.
It's too busy for me.
What do you mean though?
It's hectic. It's fast. I used to live here, remember, many years ago. And when I left, I was like, whew. I left thinking I'll come back.
So you like the peace in Palaro?
I like the peace. I like the quality. It's a quality, it's really, you don't spend hours on the road trying to get to your next appointment. You get there in 10 minutes and 15 minutes. I like it. And then I can come back into Joburg, get what I need and go back into my peaceful space.
So when you see here, you're just coming for the money and then you leave.
I come to connect.
To collect.
Connect.
Drop a question, like, comment. Let me know what you'd like us to talk to when she does come back. I'll force her to come back.
I will.
And we'll go deeper. I'm looking at really helping a lot of the African community, especially, but anyone who watches the podcast, really. But I want people to transform their lives. I want people to be able to reset, start over, fix their finances, get educated on the information that will change their lives. So you are one of those people that I know I'll have back. Thank you for joining us till this time. See you in the next episode. And my friend, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Nuggets.
Always a pleasure.
Sure.